Good evening. It is Tuesday, March 28th, and welcome to the Positional Sports Talk Show Post, live streaming on Facebook Live, Twitch, and our Positional Sports Talk Show YouTube channel. We are a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We'll provide our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports this evening. My name is Big Reg. I'm joined this evening. We got monthly special guests in the house. Big Yo is with us this evening. How you doing, Yo?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me this week.
Yay. Good to have you back. J3's in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Big Reg, what's going on? Yo, Professor J, welcome. Let's get it in.
Yes, sir.
And last but not least, the professor's in the building. What's going on, Professor J?
What's happening, everybody? What's up, yo? What's up, Big Reg J3? Glad to be here. Y'all know what we do. Praise the Lord. Let's get it.
Yeah.
All right. So this evening, we're going to give you some quick hits. We try to get away from NFL news, but every week something pops up that we just can't ignore. So we got to talk about the NFL a little bit. And then the NCAA tournament was bananas.
Yeah.
It's been crazy, the whole tournament, but Sweet 16 and Elite 8 were bananas, both in the men's and women's side. And then we're going to finish you up with some NBA news and our final post of the evening. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the posts on the Positional Sports Talk Show channel. For you, all the seam heads out there and baseball fans, Major League Baseball opening day is Thursday, 2 days from today. Every team is scheduled to play for the first time since the 60s, so it should be a big day. As long as they don't have any weather cancellations, you have every team out there doing their thing. So
I'm excited. Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how baseball does after their run from the World Baseball Classics, which was widely successful, even with the injuries. So it'll be interesting. And for us here locally in the DMV area, can the Washington Nationals do more than just tread water since they're trying to sell the team? So
yeah.
Got to give a shout out to Tyler Reddick. We don't do a lot of NASCAR, but Tyler Reddick got his first win for 2311 Racing, which is the NASCAR team owned by Michael Jordan, and the first win for Toyota this season. So that's big stuff.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was big.
Hey, I heard he's thinking about getting behind the wheel. Did y'all hear that?
Nah, that's
He's
a
been
true
thinking
story.
about that for years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, considering that Bubba Wallace is probably going to be out in a minute, maybe he can. They're going to need another driver.
Yeah. Because he was trying to race the motorcycles, because he started in motorcycle racing, but then it's like, Mike, you're gonna hurt yourself doing this. So, so
that's how he started out. But yeah, so that's it. It should, it'll be interesting to see if he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried it out a few times.
Yeah. When you got that kind of money, you can try things. But trying to get in the NASCAR
ain't that the truth?
50 plus years. Yeah, that might not be a good idea. Another local story, but it's XFL's national, but locally, these DC Defenders are doing work.
Yes.
6-0, the only undefeated team in the XFL.
Crushing it.
And they're doing it by playing defense and running the
and
football.
running the ball. Yes.
Old school football.
Pound them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what's great, they're 3 closest competitors, 2 in the division, and the Roughnecks, who they just beat last night, they've beaten all of them at least once. They beat the St. Louis Battlehawks, which are their main division rival, twice already. So
And they be toying with people, man. They be like, "Oh, you think you're getting back in the game? Okay, let's do this. Let's run the ball." And it's like they just push them around all the game. Shout out to Greg Williams, man.
Yeah, his defense is playing. They score in every game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they have 4 more weeks to go in the regular season. 2 more wins for the Defender, and they'll lock up a playoff berth, one in the 14 playoff to decide the champion. in the world of boxing, David Benavidez just he did his thing against my man Caleb Plant. I'm sorry.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, old Sweet Hands got his face bruised up quite a bit. He survived, but it was definitely a unanimous decision win. So, of course, Benavidez immediately in his post-fight interview in the ring was like, there's no reason Canelo can duck me now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I got the interim belt now. He's got all the other belts. He's been ducking me for 2 or 3 years. He said he respect Canelo. You know, Canelo had a lot of options, but he won a shot. So
what we know about boxing, Big Reg, they be ducking.
Yeah.
They find a way to duck. They find a way to duck.
Yeah, especially young lions. Old champions that have a lot to lose monetarily don't like to mess with young lions. So he may have to wait. I can see Canelo fights in May, and he's supposed to fight again in September. But he wants to, in the September fight, do a rematch to the heavyweight champion that he lost to, who says he's going to come down to 168 to take all Canelo's belts to prove that that wasn't a fluke and that he was just a bigger man.
Yeah.
So
I think he can do it. I think he can do it if they get in the ring. I think he can do it.
So it's some interesting things. And last in our quick hits, but not least, a little puck news. We got shout out to Boston Bruins. They remain on pace to break the NHL single season wins and points record. They've got 9 games left in their schedule. They're 2 wins ahead in the pace. And this came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The Bruins were picked to finish in the middle of the pack and maybe push to make a playoff or the wild card. They just running away with everything. So this is crazy year. Then we got to talk again local about our Washington Capitals, man. It seems to me, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, that the Caps have come to a place where they just want to wait till Ovi breaks Wayne Gretzky's all-time scoring record, which will be probably another 2 seasons if he continues on the pace he's on this year. He scored 45 goals again this year, which is crazy. And then once Ovi breaks the record, I think they're going to blow everything up.
Probably.
That might be the
case. They've made a few moves, in the past month or so anyway. I think they were trying to make that push to see if they could, get, like the last spot. But to me, I would love for him to break some of those records, but I think also too, for him, he does really want to, I'm not saying the rest of them don't either, but I know for him, he wants to win too. So I don't know. I think they're looking for another championship too.
Well, I hope so.
Coaching, man. Their coaching is much to be desired.
Yeah, that's a big.
I get frustrated watching them.
Yeah,
and it didn't used to be that way for about 10 years. It's been electric. It's been exciting. Now it's just something is missing, and I don't know if they're gonna get out of the funk this year. Maybe the moves that they're making will translate to next year, but I just don't like their coach. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
When you get rid of the coach to help you win a title the summer after he won the title,
right?
Because you don't want to pay him another $300,000 a year.
Stupid.
Yeah, that was awful.
They've been in a funk ever since. So
yeah, this is true.
But so 5 of the 8 playoff spots are already locked up in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
and right now the Caps are on the outside looking in, even making a wild card. They're 6 points behind the last wild card spot, which is currently held by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and only got 8 games remaining. So doesn't look good this year. In the Western Conference, a lot of teams have great records, but because so many teams are so close, it's kind of like the Western Conference in the NBA. Nobody's locked up anything in the Western Conference in the NHL. So.
Man, the story of Washington sports, always on the outside looking in.
It's been a long time. Long time.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to this NFL. First, we got to talk about the big news that was announced today.
Yeah.
The Harris Group, with its two big new partners, the local billionaire Mitchell Reyes and NBA Hall of Famer Magic Johnson, and the Harris Group is led by the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers and New Jersey Devils, who tried to buy the Denver Broncos last year when they were up for sale. They submitted a fully funded minimum $6 billion bid to buy the Commanders. Shortly thereafter, they announced that Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos,
don't even pronounce it.
Probably killing his name.
That sounds good to me.
Nah, that's on. You got it.
That's it. That sounds good to me.
Apostolopoulos, yeah.
Also submitted a minimum of a $6 billion fully funded deal. So that means they got the financing ready. Cash has been approved, that they got the money to purchase it. And there's still supposed to be a third bidder out there that nobody knows anything about. And then Fertitta, who owns the Houston Rockets, is also supposedly interested and has toured the facility. So Danny going to end up coming out of this being the worst owner in the NFL and walking away with $4.5 to $5 billion in profit.
Yeah. Sound about right?
Must be nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got to say. Must be nice.
Yeah, it also stands to break the record that was held by the Broncos as like the most that was paid for a franchise, for NFL franchise. So
I believe it.
Yeah, actually, the most that's been paid for any sports franchise in the world. So yeah, they just that tells you how much money is in the NFL. That people can $6 billion. Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
But some of the owners was like, you got to look at you got history in the franchise, and B, it's right there in the nation's capital. If you can't make that work, something wrong. So, all right. So let's get into the other elephant in the room, and we've talked about this a few times. So I'm really interested to see what Yo has to say about this Lamar Jackson situation, because I've been a Ravens organization fan for years, but I think they have been doing Lamar real dirty ever since the season when they started leaking stuff about what we thought Lamar was going to be coming back, but we don't know, and acting like they weren't aware of what's going on. When players was like, Lamar's in the facility every day. We see him limping around here. Ain't no way Lamar can play the way he's walking. But they putting it out to the public that, Lamar could play if he really wanted to. So he already did the good guy thing. He came in this year when everybody told him don't do it. He played, and now they trying to use that, well, you've been hurt the last 2 years. Let me just add some facts before I let y'all go. Over the last 2 years, the Ravens running back top two running backs have both been hurt the past 2 years. So not only did Lamar have to be the quarterback, he had to be the leading rusher more than normal. This year, both of the wide receivers that they drafted that was supposed to come in and help the passing game were injured most of the year. And even his best target, the tight end, missed like 4 games. So what do you expect Lamar to do when he literally was the entire offense? And he didn't get hurt running. He got hurt in the pocket because the line wasn't good. So what do y'all think? A, I'm glad Lamar put it out on social media. A, don't believe everything you're reading about me because it's not true. And B, he made it clear that he told the Ravens, I want to trade March 2nd, which was like 4 days before they put the franchise tag on him. So what y'all feel about what's going on with Lamar?
When the master say you got to keep on working, they slap that whip on you, you keep on working. He ain't going nowhere. He getting right behind that center and try to move the ball.
I honestly think this has the potential to get ugly, like super ugly. Like this is, yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm kind of bracing for it, but the ideal thing would be to set this man right as far as paying him what he's worth. But we all see that's not going to lead to that. So, yeah, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Go ahead, yo. I go after you.
Well, okay. I was just, I'm really trying to see what the motivation is for them not really sitting down with him and really giving him the deal that, I mean, that he absolutely deserves. Then you kind of put it. I think they're kind of making it bad, maybe because in the event that they do end up having to trade him, I guess they maybe wanted to look bad to other teams, but I don't see how, because his potential. I mean, well, his play, dictates exactly what, to me, his price should be. But I think that coach he says he's still planning, to build the team around Lamar. So I don't know if he just assumes that he's not going to leave, that he'll stay. I mean, they did franchise tag him, but I just don't understand. I really just not trying to understand the motive that the Ravens have for trying to, to not really negotiate or not really trying to pay him. Because like you said, he's been really doing kind of all the work. And I mean, because that's how I felt about Justin Fields up there in Chicago. Like, he's doing a lot of the work because he didn't, his players were hurt, or, at some point, even at some point he wasn't healthy. So, it kind of, made it for a kind of bad year. But at the same time, he's representing himself too. I don't think he has an agent. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. So, that may be that they're taking advantage of the fact that he doesn't have one. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there. But I mean, again, like I said, with the franchise tag, of course he would, he'll be there for the 1 year. But I don't know. Like I said, the relationship is not going to be great. I don't see a good year coming out of it, because of that. I think there'll just be animosity on both sides, and it just, the tension will be too tough. So, but like I said, we'll see. I mean, he's constantly in the news for this. So I don't know.
Whew. Remember, I said last year that this man would not be a Baltimore Raven after all this was said and done, because of how they were putting his business out in the street, talking about he's injury prone. Then they brought up the fact about the agent. And y'all know 2 weeks ago, I said again that they're going to try to make an example of him because he is being his own agent. He cannot set a precedence for getting a fully guaranteed contract, no agent, and then they think they're going to let him be the poster boy of that model, because other players will follow that, right? The NFL is not going to allow him to do that for those very two reasons. And then listen to some of these names. I'm not going to give the website any press on him unless they pay us, but I'm looking at quarterback injuries over the last couple of years and who is at a high risk for this year getting injured again. We got Kyler Murray, we got Josh Allen, we got Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones, just to name a few, Derek Carr, and Tua Tagovailoa, right? One of those guys is about to get a fat new contract coming up in Josh Allen. They will not put the same scenario about Josh Allen out there. And Allen has been hurt a bit over the last 4 or 5 seasons too, since he's been in the NFL. And he's got a very high risk probability of getting hurt this year. But nobody's talking about that type of stuff. But Lamar, like Big Red said, has been their entire offense. Had they put any type of talent around him, and I don't know, it might come out just like in Washington. Remember Washington a few years ago had all these injuries back to back, and then they end up firing their whole training staff and all that kind of stuff. Maybe Baltimore is in that boat where their guys just can't stay healthy because their strength and conditioning isn't good. But Lamar is in a very precarious situation, because if he wins, he's going to set precedents that the NFL does not want to happen. So this chicken, I think, is going to lead to him sitting out this season just to see what happens.
I mean, you kind of see it now with because even on his IG post, he leaked that he had requested a trade even before they franchise tagged him.
Yeah.
So that's you know what I'm saying. It's gonna get ugly before it gets better. And just a point of note, I think he's not the first like NFL player to represent himself. I think offensive tackle for the Texans, Laramie Tunsil. He like represented himself like 3 times for contracts and got paid each time. So I wonder if it's more so, you know, someone at that high position of quarterback representing
It's quarterback.
themselves.
You hit it. It's quarterback. The
Yeah.
most important position on the field.
Yeah.
Are they going to allow him to do that? I mean, the owner's already pissed at Jimmy Haslam because he gave Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract. So he kind of being ostracized right now himself. So they ain't trying to let that happen again.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lamar's catching strays from what happened to Deshaun Watson. They're like, oh no, we're gonna nip this in the bud. But what Lamar seems to be a highly principled dude, and he's all about loyalty and respect. And the Ravens have gone too far because Lamar hadn't been saying anything, saying we'll work it out, we do it, work it out, and all the leaks, and he just got tired of them trying to make him look bad. So
Yeah.
I think there's going to be two big inflection points: the draft. I think the Colts may be a player if they're locked in on a particular QB and he gets taken before they pick at number 4. I think the Colts could trade back in the draft and then pursue Lamar. Washington, if the sale goes through fast enough, because now they're talking about that a bid may be accepted as soon as next month, then it takes 30 to 60 days, depending on if they want to fast track or not, to get the final approval. A new ownership group might come in and say, he just right up the street. We can bring him here and help the attendance with this team. So that's a possibility. But if come July 15th, if he doesn't have an offer sheet, which then we know it's collusion, because why a 26-year-old former MVP starting quarterback, all pro, can't get an offer sheet, then we know what's going on. And I think Lamar just will not sign an offer sheet, and he will make the Ravens sit with them $32.4 million on their books, and he will sit out and then come in. In order for him to get an accrued year, he's got to play, I think, 5 games or be on the roster 5 games. Sit out to week 10 or 11, then sign the offer sheet, show up, I'm not ready to play, accrue his year, and then say, now what you going to do with me? Because they want to play business. I think Lamar's ready to play business, and it's a shame it's getting to this point.
Yeah.
All that talent, and they don't pay him. That's just crazy.
Yeah. Unlike 2012, them going to get Lamar Jackson makes sense than what they did to give up so much for RG3, because they got weapons all over this offense and the defense is good enough to get them far, at least to make a run for a Super Bowl. So it would make sense for Washington. Irsay just crazy enough to throw his name in there, but the Colts ain't going nowhere.
And then at the camp, at the pro day, when I think Mayhew and Rivera were asked about going for Lamar, of course they said no, but we all know that's hearsay.
Mm-hmm. Mayhew was swelling. I could see it in his face, lying through his teeth.
They know they're not going to have jobs in a few months.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. New ownership group going to want to bring in their people.
Yeah.
They may be
it's
forced to
true.
keep them for 2023,
Yeah.
but 2024, they done. Everybody got to go unless you
Can-
prove something. So
Can you imagine if he was in the burgundy and gold with, like you said, the weapons that he has on both sides of the damn ball? I mean, and the running backs. Oh my goodness.
Man, cancel Christmas.
Sick.
I mean, you would look at a offense that could possibly be as close to Kansas City as any other team.
The enemy. Yeah.
Exactly.
I can see it.
in a weak NFC.
All he need to do tell
Ooh.
Ron, just shut up. I got the office.
I
Just
got
be
it.
quiet. Right. I got
Well,
it.
that's basically what he going.
Yeah, a lot of people, just because Lamar is representing himself, don't get it twisted.
Oh,
Lamar has the NFLPA
Mm-hmm.
behind him, and he's also got attorneys. He just doesn't have a quote unquote agent,
right.
but he felt other players, excuse me, have negotiated the deal with their teams without an agent. I'm a star quarterback. It should have been a real easy deal
Mm-hmm.
because up until this point, whoever was the highest, the next person up got more money. So Lamar was like, okay, why are things changing now? The precedent is whoever was the highest, I'm next. I got more accolades than Deshaun Watson. I'm more important to my franchise than Deshaun Watson was to Cleveland. I'm more important in the community. So just give me the money. So it should have been an easy deal. So we will see. I really don't see Lamar playing any significant games for the Ravens anymore. And if they push him, because I think they're thinking, oh, Lamar ain't going to turn away $32 million. He ain't going to just sit out. Okay.
Watch this.
Yeah, he's going to make it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, potentially get more. So,
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the NCAA. I am happy that Texas finally did the right thing because it was getting a little crazy that Rodney Terry, who took over the team in December, won a Big 12 championship, got them to the Elite Eight, and didn't have a new contract until yesterday, removing the interim tag, which is kind of crazy to me, but they did finally give that black man the job at Texas. I'm sure it was begrudgingly, but
you think it was the boosters?
Yeah, Texas is a real interesting place. And they said we tried to hire some black head coaches in football and basketball and it ain't work out. So we need some of our people back in here. Yeah, just call it as I said. So good luck for Rodney Terry. Now he got to deal with those boosters and all what it comes with being with Texas. And they coming to the SEC soon, so it's going to be interesting.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
But glad he got that 5-year deal. So worst case scenario, in a couple of years, he can get paid out and keep it moving. Have y'all noticed college sports in general, but definitely college basketball has fundamentally shifted? We just got to see it in the NCAA tournament. The transfer portal has changed college athletics.
Yeah,
It's king now, man. It is king.
Yeah.
in a minute.
And that's a good thing.
I agree because these coaches have been getting over for years, lying to recruits to get them in and then treat them any old way. So now the coach has to not only recruit you to get you there, they got to treat you a certain way to keep you there, and they have to be able to go and recruit other people coming from other. So that just makes parity, which this tournament
it is cool. Yes, it is so fun. It's kind of like how the NBA was doing with the players requesting to be traded and team hopping, if they didn't like this situation. That's sort of what the transfer portal is now with NCAA. If they don't like this situation, they could easily enter that transfer portal and ask to go somewhere else.
Seemed to me it's accelerating the coaches leaving spots too.
They don't have total control anymore.
Right, exactly. Because Rick Pitino jumped real quick from Iona. Only there a few years.
Yeah. Now you got St. John's now.
Yeah.
Well, the coaches are chasing money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he go from Iona to St. John's. St. John's broke him off real nice. To
that Big East paper.
What, he get $6 million a year? Something like that?
Mil.
Yep.
Cooley got $6 million.
Cooley got $6 million to leave Providence to go to Georgetown.
Yeah.
That tells you how much money it is. Oh, not $6 million.
Them Catholic schools. Catholic schools got money. Don't let it fool.
Trust.
So,
it's all about the dollar bill, y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I was reading a couple of interesting articles. don't be surprised within the next 3 to 5 years that a ruling comes down either from Congress or the Supreme Court that is basically going to cripple what we know as the NCAA.
Good.
And force them to figure out some kind of way for the money generating sports to have the players actually participate in that wealth. Because even with the NIL and even with name, image, and likeness and the transfer portal, the school still ain't paying them. And they generating, the NCAA tournament generates billions of dollars by itself. You're not even talking about the regular season and those tournaments. Not much money's coming in. So, yeah, so a lot is changing. So I'm happy for the kids. So if they get lied to or not being treated well, they can move on and try to find better places. And for the mid-majors and low-major players that thought they weren't recruited properly, they get a chance as a junior, even a senior, or even a grad student to go play in a big conference team and show that they was good enough as everybody else and help a team get deep in the tourney. So y'all see I got my post gear back on. I had to take the Alabama stuff off.
Short-lived.
San Diego State took it to him, bro.
Man, they gave away that game. But we talked about Brandon Miller and all the stress that was on him and all that.
His head wasn't in that game.
He had the worst game I've ever seen him play. And not only he played bad, but their other freshman forward had a horrible game. But the most crazy thing was their senior point guard who kept trying to dribble down the left-hand side of the paint and got his layup blocked 5 to 6 times in the game, the same play over and over. What are you doing? It was just horrible.
Forcing it. He was forcing it.
Yeah, you know Miller didn't have a good run at all anyway in the tournament. He just wasn't himself at all.
I think when they had to put armed guards behind the bench at the tournament, that just changed everything. So a good run for Alabama. They got some good players coming back, and we'll see. I was surprised that Miami knocked off Houston, though. I really thought Houston was rugged enough, but
I knew he was going to do it.
Hey, Sis, your super booster down in Miami, he done bought the best team. He got the men's and women's team to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Man, Maryland, this area should have never let Jim Larranaga get out of this area.
Man.
Never.
George Mason, man, should have never let him go.
They should have never let him get out of this area.
George Mason couldn't pay him.
Georgetown could have. Wasting time with all these other people trying to stay in the family. Now they just went outside the family. They could have had him.
Could have too, yeah.
Not contending teams. That's the problem. They're not contenders.
Yeah, good old Larranaga loving life down there. He almost 80 now.
Right.
Still making it happen.
He in the
And
right area.
Exactly.
Retired in the right area.
Gonzaga looked like Gonzaga was going, do some things.
Again. I called it.
You called it. UConn is beating the brakes off of everybody. Their closest game was a 15-point win. Their closest game was a 15-point win. They beat Gonzaga so bad, 82-54. It was like, y'all don't even belong there. So.
Yeah, but Timmy stayed in foul trouble, man. It's just horrible.
Yeah, because he had to play with some real big-bodied athletic players, and Timmy ain't – those ain't words you associate with Timmy. Right. Big body and athletic. So, I mean,
is Jim Calhoun still pulling strings at UConn?
No.
Okay, he's not. I thought he was in the front office like that.
No, they surprised me. UConn definitely did, and the women from UConn they reached the Elite Eight, didn't they?
Yeah.
No, they lost in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, they lost.
Oh, they lost in the Sweet 16. Okay.
They lost in the Sweet 16, but a good run. But to me, UConn looks like the favorite in the Final Four. We've got a Final Four. I heard something on, I think it was ESPN through their thing. that there was somewhere like 34 brackets that actually had this Final Four. I mean,
Really?
how could you figure that out? Because
Wow.
you got to go to FAU to put FAU in the Final Four. Florida Atlantic University.
Who would have got
getting to
Florida
the
Atlantic?
Final
Yeah, I
Four.
don't know.
is
Somebody lying.
crazy.
Ain't no way in hell you got Florida Atlantic in your Final Four. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Be truthful.
That
And
was,
then they had Florida Atlantic and Miami in the Final Four.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come
That's
on,
somebody
man.
who picked a whole lot of underdogs. That's all that
Right.
is. They just picked
Yeah.
a lot of underdogs. It can happen.
Do you think that's going to hurt the ratings for the Final Four?
No.
Mm-mm.
But you
Nope.
got a lot of UConn supporters, Miami supporters for sure. That's going to be
Okay.
And now people are saying, are we going to have UConn win another national championship, or are we going to have a first-time national champion? Because San Diego State, FAU, and Miami have never been this far. So, I think it'll be great. So the Final Four is this Saturday. San Diego State plays FAU at 6:09 on CBS, and that's followed by UConn and Miami. It's going to be interesting to see Miami play because Miami's got some dogs on that team. And they got some guards that control the game. So, and yeah, San Diego State, FAU, who knows? San Diego State beat Bama. So, if you lose, I was talking to my buddy Kimmett about that. I said, if you lose to anybody, you like to say, well, we lost to the champions. So I would love to see San Diego State go ahead and win it
Big
all.
Reg, that ain't going to make you
champions.
feel no better. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
I'm trying, man. I'm
Yeah,
Nice
I know
try.
you trying.
Nice
I
try.
give you an A for effort.
Yeah. Over on the women's side, fellas, I've been saying it all year. Definitely been saying the turn. It's South Carolina and everybody else. It's South Carolina and everybody else.
So let me just say this real quick. Maryland gave them a good go.
They did.
They
They
tried.
did.
The only
For a quarter
problem.
and a half.
Hold on. The only problem is they didn't have enough firepower to stay with South Carolina. I mean,
Boston
they were running with them. They were
dominated,
running
yeah.
with them, but they did not have enough firepower to outscore them. I mean, they tried, but once they started getting in foul trouble, it just went by the wayside.
And that's the difference between South Carolina and everybody else. South Carolina played 12 people in that Maryland game, and you did not see a drop off when those 7 people came off the bench.
Nope.
Because out of those 7, 4 to 5 of them are all Americans that just don't get any time that are waiting their turn.
Yeah.
At South Carolina.
And that's why I like Staley, man. That her starters weren't playing. She was like, all right, y'all all come out of here. Y'all go in there. And they lit that spark.
And she was styling at that in a Louis Vuitton
In that
sweatsuit.
Louis Vuitton jacket.
With the diamonds all around her neck.
I said, I guess school colors don't mean nothing on the sideline. I guess wear what you want.
Oh, she ready for prime time.
She said, I'm different. I'm
making the most in women's NCAA with the exception of Gino Auriemma, and I'm going to show y'all I got this money.
She was blinging up and down. Good Lord.
I was not mad. Yeah, Don Staley, I've always liked Don Staley, you know, when she was playing at college too. So, you know, it's really good that she got this, you know, she's got this going on, especially with South Carolina too. That was really, you know, she really know how to keep her bench. You know, she got a good bench behind it, and that was Maryland's. Like you said, that was kind of Maryland's problem. And I think when they played them earlier in the season, Maryland didn't have one of their biggest starter, so they kind of got crushed.
Yes.
So yeah, it was interesting to see because I thought that it would be a back and forth, especially at the beginning, like that first quarter, because I said, okay, they kind of hanging in there, but I mean, ultimately when South Carolina got the lead, they never relinquished it. So it just kind of just went from there. It was just kind of like, let's just get through this so we can get to the next game.
But shout out to Maryland though, because again they got pretty far and they played their hearts out. They just didn't have the firepower.
No doubt.
Shout out to Maryland, man.
Brenda Freeze.
Brenda be having them in there too now. Don't get that. Don't
Because I know I was panicking last year with so many of her players hit the portal, and I was like, Lord have mercy, what's going on?
But she managed to get some nice players back. I mean, going this season.
Yeah. She has taken full advantage of the transfer portal because
Yeah.
she's had to. She's lost a bunch of players over the last 5 years. So I think she's basically telling players, when you come here, you're gonna have to play my way and fit into our system. You don't fit, you can leave. I'll find somebody else. So
Yeah.
I ain't mad at it.
Yeah.
Got to also give love to Virginia Tech, the other number 1 seed that most people ain't talk about. And special shout out to Coach Kenny Brooks. Kenny Brooks is going to be the first African American male to coach a women's team in the Final Four.
Nice.
And he talked about, he's trying to open up another venue for Black men to participate in women's sports and show them that you can be successful on a large platform while also helping women's sports and promote women's sports. So shout out to them. And they playing good ball. They've got 2-time All-ACC center doing their thing and 2 guards that can really play. So it'll be interesting to see them because they take on LSU in the Final Four. That's going to be really interesting. And, of course, everybody's waiting to see the big matchup because Iowa, with the Caitlin Clark show, made it to the Final Four. Caitlin dropped 41, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists, triple-double in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four. The first 40-point triple-double ever, male or female, in the NCAA tournament. And the game before that, she had 25, I think 9 assists and like 7 rebounds. So she been putting on a show.
Yeah.
She might be a problem.
Yeah, but the point is, she just won.
She gonna be a problem, but she just won, like you said.
I mean, we thought she was just one against those other teams too.
They not South Carolina.
Not South Carolina.
I know that, but we shall see. We shall see.
She gonna have Bree Bill, who is one of the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year in college basketball, chasing after her. And when Bill gets a little tight, they got 4 other females that are 6'1" to 6'4" to do the same thing. With 2 in case she do get around them. So they're not going to let her step across half court and have 4 or 5 feet to shoot them logo threes. They're going to be picking her up before half court. And so she's going to have to work.
I hear that. I just
stop her, but she's going to have to work, which means her other players going to have to beat them in the Big Ten tournament. But in that game, her players hit 70% from 3-pointers. They shot something like 10 for 14 from 3 in the game, and that's why Maryland ended up losing that game. So
yeah, I mean, I'm with y'all. South Carolina's gonna have basically their way, but I just want to see a good game. It would be nice to see a good game.
Yeah, it should be a great game, and everybody's predicting it's going to be the highest rated women's basketball game ever because of the Caitlin Clark South Carolina matchup. So the women's Final Four starts Friday. The first game is number 1 Virginia Tech against LSU. That's at 7 p.m. on ESPN, and then it's followed by the South Carolina Iowa game at 9 p.m. And for all those people that say nobody watches women's basketball or women's sports, this has been the highest rated women's tourney of all time. And with 1/10 of the marketing budget that the men's tournament has. So just imagine if you put a little more money behind it and take it off of ESPN and have 1 or 2 games on ABC a weekend and actually put most of them on ABC or multiple networks, how much more they can get. So
coverage.
All right, we're going to end this talking about the NBA. Had some major injuries pop up this last week. Andre Iguodala, they finally started playing him. In his first game, he breaks his wrist.
Just retire, Andre. Just retire.
Grandpa.
Be the team cheerleader. One.
Be Udonis.
Yeah, lucky they getting Gary Payton the second back. So that should help out. The Clippers, Playoff P.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Embiid behind him. Watch. Go ahead.
and it's bad. He was just doing a normal play and ends up guy hits him in the knee when he's coming down, hyperextends his knee. They say he's definitely out for the rest of the regular season. And I saw a story today that some people are saying that they're going to need to get past at least the first round before they're anticipating them possibly being ready. And if you're coming back on a sore knee with all the ailments he's already got,
good luck.
Not looking too good.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Your Lakers got LeBron back and then lose because they played a different style of game.
They got Patrick Beverly calling them too small.
Of all people.
Yeah, that was funny. I can't stand that dude, but that was funny.
Don't get me started on that. It's the first game with LeBron back. They got to reconfigure everything now with him back in the lineup. It will be fine. And we get our revenge on Wednesday, so we'll be straight.
But you guys only got 7 to 8 games to figure things out to make sure y'all still in the playoff. And y'all wanted to try to get to that 6th seed, so
we still will. We will. And plus, we didn't have D'Angelo playing that last game, so yeah, that made it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot. Okay.
KD's supposed to be back this week, possibly Wednesday, but if not, the end of this week. So we'll see how that helps the Suns.
Ooh, did you hear what Charles Barkley said about him? Ooh,
Yes, I was going to do that in my post tape, man.
Okay, woo, I'll leave it alone there.
Yeah, I think Barkley sometimes gets a little too personal when he start going back and forth.
And on 60 Minutes at that.
Yeah. 76 has got issues. James Harden still out dealing with Achilles soreness. So
Pop goes the weasel.
yeah. What you gonna do? Bring him back right before the playoffs and then have him gear up and think he gonna make it through the playoffs with a sore kid? We saw what that did to KD.
With KD,
Yeah.
What I tell you about the Sixers?
because Embiid on his way too.
Yeah, Embiid sat out the game against the Nuggets.
Yeah, I wanted to see that matchup, and he gonna sit out there.
Sore calf. He said his back has also been sore. So yeah, you just can't.
Every time we put press on the Sixers or say, "Oh, this is going to be their year," what happens?
I feel you.
Sound like the purple and gold.
That's his push to
Nope.
win MVP.
Nope. We got chips.
He got that more important than the team going far in the playoff. He want the MVP, so he pushing himself.
And the sad story, Trailblazers probably going to shut Damian Lillard down for the rest of the season. That may be a situation where loyalty may have just gone. He said he happy. He said he a champion in life and it's fine with not contending for championships. And he's made more money than anybody else.
Yeah,
doing them contract extensions. So I guess making $600 million, I guess that can bring you a lot of happiness. But
I just hope he believes that.
I know.
I mean, look at all these players who never won a ring. So it's possible he's already made peace with it. So let him be.
All right.
I hear you, J3. I hear you. So it looks like we're going to come down to, again, I give the Sixers a little credit. I guess if Embiid and Harden can be healthy, they may be a threat in the East. But right now, it's the Bucks. The Celtics look like they've corrected their little funk. They actually been playing really good basketball last week. They're only 2 games behind the Bucks for the best record in the NBA. So I think it should come down to the Celtics and Bucks because the Celtics have the Sixers number. And the way it's looking like they're going to end up 2-3. If they 2-3, Celtics win that in 6 or 7. And the Cavaliers, they're a great story this year. Maybe it's just me. I can't see the Cavaliers beating the Bucks. No shape at all.
What about the Knicks?
Stop it. Stop it.
The Wizards beating Boston by 21 right now, though. Putting it on them.
Yeah.
They probably took that game off.
Yeah,
maybe so.
And that's what Boston's been doing. And that's what I think is going to hurt Boston in the long run. I think the coaching move that they made, while I guess they felt they had to do it, I think they're gonna regret letting Ime Udoka go, and the new coach that they promoted and gave him the full-time position. He's been a little suspect this last month and a half as far as in-game coaching decisions and things of that sort. So they may regret doing the things that they did. So we'll see.
You trying to say he don't have control of his team? Is that what you're saying?
That's
what it sounds like.
I think he has control of his team. I just think the actual in-game adjustments and doing that, he doesn't have experience doing it. And even though you was the assistant coach and you was just one seat away being the head coach and you got to make them decisions, especially when teams going lock down on you specifically for a series, we'll see. He could prove me wrong, but we'll see. So who y'all think will come out the West? Because I'm confused because the Nuggets been up and down. Memphis look like they trying to get back, but I have no confidence in that team being led by Ja with crazy man. Continue to get texts and trying to fight everybody in the league, and they missing both of their big men because of injury. The Kings, huh?
Watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you.
I knew that was you, J3, with that hot take.
Watch what I tell you.
We shall see.
That's
we
it.
shall see.
I think they may be a year or two away. They coming. They coming. They're coming. And if they catch one of the teams slipping, yeah, they could cause some damage.
As long as they stay healthy, they're gonna be contenders. Watch what I tell you.
Okay.
I can go with that.
So y'all don't think the Nuggets gonna actually handle business this year?
The Nuggets are like Gonzaga. We always put stock in them that they gonna make it past the second round. They never do.
Wow.
Oh, Jokic won. He can win 5-6 MVPs, and it probably will never get to the finals.
We will see if Jamal Murray shows up and helps Jokic, and their forward Porter,
Michael Porter
Jr.
Yep.
If those two guys show up and play good basketball, the Nuggets can beat anybody in the West. The question is, we've never seen them do that because they've been injured most of the last 3 years. So it'll be interesting. And the Suns, on paper, you put KD with that team, but guess what? The Suns can't play any defense now. And Andre Ayton is getting less time now than before.
They traded their defensive players away. And Bridges and Johnson.
And they never fixed that relationship with Ayton going into this season. It's showing.
So yeah. Again, who y'all like coming out the West? Yo, we might not see you before the playoffs start. Who you like in the West?
I'm not sure because it seems like the West seems to be kind of usually it's a little more defined than it is now. Everybody seems to be just a game or two behind each other. So I don't know.
We understand. I'm the same way.
I really don't because it's just I just don't think anybody in the West is playing like that great a ball. I mean, nothing just like stands out to me. So it's almost, to me, it's almost like this year's NCAA tournament. It's anybody. I think it's anybody's playoff at this point.
Utah.
Come on, Utah, man. They in 12th place. They not even.
Don't they have to play like maybe play in, maybe
San Antonio.
Yeah, okay, you just
they already out. Yeah, they already
got funny. You just got jokes.
That's why I'm saying the Nuggets might sneak up in there.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see that. But we'll
with
see.
the Warriors playing so schizophrenic, you can't put any confidence in them, even with their championship pedigree.
It's not. They've been hurt a little bit too. So.
Oklahoma City might mess around and win it.
Hey, don't sleep. Don't sleep.
I'm not. I'm telling it like Oklahoma City sneakily got a good squad. Like young pups.
The young, they're coming. I like the way that they played this season, actually. So
yeah, considering they were supposed to be losing this year, and
yes,
they look like they're going to at least make the play in. So
yeah,
I think you might be right, yo. This could be the Western Conference, could be like the NCAA tournament. Anybody could beat anybody, and it's just going to be fun to watch. So
and Coach of the Year, Mike Brown.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we already know that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sacramento.
If he don't get it, something is wrong.
Yeah,
I agree with that too.
Yeah, they just have to win one more game to lock in their playoff spot. And right now they're sitting in third.
Okay,
They 5 games ahead of the Suns for fourth. So they're gonna end up at least third. So that's a hell of a move.
Yeah.
For that organization. And Mike Brown, everybody even laughed at Mike Brown. I questioned, why are you going to take that job? Of all the jobs, leave Golden State for that job? But he making it work. So
yeah,
they got the pieces.
Yeah, they do.
And they got the fan base that supports them. They're the only game in town in that part of California. They done turned that thing. That's now when Golden State was on the other side of the bay, and they had Oracle at Oracle Arena. That fan base and that being in that gym was so electric. They have that now in Sacramento, and then they light the beam up after every victory, shoot it into space. So it'd be nice to see some new blood.
It's
all
cute.
Right. It's cute. He said cute to an NBA professional team.
It's cute. It's
That's
cute.
that Laker hating. That's that Laker hating.
Light your little beam, Sacramento. Light your little beam. No shade, though. No shade. No shade.
All right, sis. On that note, it is time for us to get the final post so we can get up out of here. J3, why don't you start us off?
Real quick, I just want to say that it's springtime, so it's time to get your walking shoes on. Get out, go walking for at least 30 minutes a day. Keep that heart right and keep your mind right.
Absolutely. Great point. Great point. Yo, what you got for us?
It is springtime. Well, even though this is kind of bad, just hug your babies tight. A lot of babies not coming home. So with everything that's going on in this crazy world and why schools are the targets, I have no clue. But just hug your babies tight. Pray that they come home every day.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, true that.
Sense, what you got for me?
I alluded to this earlier in the show, but can we just kind of respect like generations? Like I'm tired of this, old man, get off my lawn. Y'all ain't play the way we used to play. Y'all sensitive, y'all soft, and all that. Like Charles Barkley, you had no business coming at KD like that. He did nothing to you. Let that man be. And I ain't a KD fan, but I think he at least deserved like some like grace with this. Like, yeah, we ain't, it ain't the 90s basketball, but y'all didn't have, shows and media and like over sensationalized like analytic shows in y'all day. Now, this generation of players kind of living in that, and it's not just a physical strain, but it's a mental strain on them.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, well said. Well said. What you got for us, Professor?
So I want to pen a letter to Bradley Beal, and I'm gonna do it Jimmy Fallon style. Dear Bradley, don't let fans get under your skin and get you into a bunch of trouble. Young man, you are better than that. Please lead a life that you show and be a great role model for the kids that look up to you. That's all I got to say. Stay out of trouble, Bradley Beal.
Well put. Well put.
Well said. Well said.
I hear you. Well said. He shouldn't have reacted, but fans shouldn't be cursing at players because they lost a bet. Bradley ain't tell you to bet.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what he told him too. He was like, "Hey, you bet on me."
So,
It's crazy.
these fans with this gambling, it's going to get a little crazy for a couple of
Yes.
years till
Mhm.
this new gambling stuff kind of normalizes, whatever that's going to be. I just like to highly suggest we got the women's and men's Final Four.
Mhm.
Take some time, give both tournaments some love. Check out the women starting on Friday, the men starting on Saturday. Championship game for the women is Sunday. Championship game for the men is Monday. You've got 4 interesting teams, some big stories on both sides. On the women's side, you got 3 first-team All-Americans playing on 3 of the different teams. So you got some big-time players balling. South Carolina's trying to go undefeated, go 38-0, and win back-to-back national championships. Caitlin Clark is trying to prove that she's the best player in basketball and may be one of the few that actually, if she wins the national championship, I can see her opting out of her senior season and going right to the WNBA because she's got WNBA type of game already.
Mhm.
And on the men's side, can Mr. Hurley, who people didn't want them to hire, win another championship from UConn and bring back the glory to UConn men's basketball? Or are we going to see the U win a natty in basketball? Because San Diego State, the team that Fisher went to after he got fired from Michigan after winning the national championship in Michigan,
Right.
win at San Diego State. So, and God help us if FAU wins it all.
Lord, man, you ain't gonna be able to
a
tell them
commuter
nothing.
school in Boca Raton. Oh, that would put the NCAA on its head if that
Oh,
happens.
absolutely.
So it
Get your
should be a great
popcorn ready.
It should be a great weekend.
I
for
don't
that.
care. It ain't Tar Heel Nation. Who cares?
Y'all ain't even accept no NIT. Sit down.
Because it ain't our way. See, when you a champ, you don't
Oh,
take
Lord.
small
Oh,
potatoes.
here we go. Here we go. On that note, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate your time and opportunity to share our positions on sports with you. Please tune in each and every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for our live show. You can also download this show and previous shows via our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just put in Positions on Sports Talk Show in your search and you'll find us. Or if you prefer the podcast way, check your favorite podcast platform. Again, Positions on Sports Talk Show. Please like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate that. Stay safe. Springtime's here. Get out, get moving, enjoy yourself, and we'll see you next week. Y'all be easy. Peace.
See ya.
Yeah.
God bless.
All righty, good show, y'all.